This is Carl Johnson of CJ Behavior Coaching and Consulting, LLC. And what I want to talk to you about today is a child's difficult behaviors and how you can deal with those difficult behaviors. So one of the things I want you to do is I want you to start looking at behaviors as a symptom of a condition. Because if you look at behaviors as a symptom of a condition, it will make you more understanding and allow you to have empathy for that child. Now, being understanding and having empathy doesn't mean that the behaviors that you see are okay. It just means you understand where they're coming from and what caused it. Just like you would if you had someone who had a cold. If you had a cold, what are some of the symptoms of a cold? Some of the symptoms of a cold would be watery eyes, runny nose, cough, sneezing, fever, and lots of other different symptoms. Now, what would be some of the causes of a cold? How do you catch a cold? Maybe you have been outside without a jacket on. You're walking around without any shoes on your feet in a cold house or outside. Maybe you've touched something and someone else has a cold and you caught it. Maybe you have a very low immune system, a very weak immune system, and so you caught a cold. So what are some of the ways that you deal with a cold? That you can effectively deal with a cold? Well, one of the things you might do if you had a cold and you had a runny nose, you might take tissue and wipe your nose. Well, if you wipe your nose, do you still have a cold? Yes, you do. What about if you wiped your nose and you wiped your eyes? Do you still have a cold? Yes. Do you know why you still have a cold? You still have a cold because you haven't dealt with the inside. Conditions are outside and inside, so you have to deal with them from the inside and the outside, just like you would when you're dealing with difficult behaviors of a child. When a child is angry, that is a condition. So the symptoms of an angry child would look like what? It would look like hitting, cursing, yelling, running away, destroying property. Those are symptoms of a condition. So when you see that, you won't be shocked because you know that child is angry. So this is what this looks like. I'm supposed to see this. So when you say, how can I help a child who's angry? Well, you don't just deal with consequences. You need to deal with the inside. You can give a child consequences, but you haven't dealt with the inside of what they're actually feeling. So they will still be angry even though you've dealt with the outside. If I am sad and my eyes are watering and I'm crying and you wipe my eyes, am I still sad? Yes, I am still sad because you haven't dealt with the inside of my condition. So from now on, when you look at a child's behavior, look at them as a symptom of a condition. Just like if you had a really, really sick friend and you say that our eyes were watering, their nose is running, they're really, really sick, you would feel bad for them. It's like, man, well, you know what? That must be really tough to have that condition. You must be really feeling bad. What can I do to help you? Well, what about a child's behavior? You see a child who's really angry, who's really struggling, and they're having all these behaviors, but we don't look at those as a symptom of a condition, so we don't have empathy, and we don't have understanding, but that's exactly what a child needs. From now on, try to look at a child's behavior as a symptom of a condition and ask yourself, what can I do to help that child with this condition?